Hello, my name is Gary Solomon, and I'd like to share with you some legal advice I gave to a client this morning. A person came into my office and she told me that she was on a New Jersey Transit bus that had moved while she was boarding the bus. As a result, she fell down the stairwell and almost sustained a very serious injury. Fortunately for her, she did not suffer a significant injury. But I explained to her in detail what the law is, and she did the right thing by consulting with a lawyer. This happened in September, and it still remains September, because there are certain rules that are different when someone sues a public entity, and New Jersey Transit is a public entity. So I'd like to share with you the legal advice I gave to her. The first thing that you need to know is if you sue a public entity, such as New Jersey Transit, a city, a town, a county, the state of New Jersey, a subdivision like a Board of Education, the trash removal service that the town may run, a recreational facility, a school, a sidewalk, anything that has to do with a public entity, you must, I say that with capital letters, you must give them notice within 90 days on their special forms. So my first advice is see a lawyer immediately and have them file these tort claims notices. That's TORT claims notices. If you don't file them within 90 days, you may not have a case at all. They don't care, the courts do not care of the reasons why you were not able to file it unless you were practically in a coma. You need to file these papers immediately, and then if the town or the entity sends you back their own forms, you need to fill them out and send them in immediately as well. That is a prerequisite to even being able to file a claim. Now, you can't file a suit for 6 months after that to allow them to have time to investigate. The second thing you need to know is whether you're going to be even able to bring a claim. My advice is talk about your facts and your injuries with a lawyer. But here's some of the things that the law says. This law is so complicated that there is a book written on it just about claims against public entities. And this book is about 650 some odd pages long. But I want to share with you one part of the book. This is the statute that is involved with the lawsuit against the public entity. And that statute is 59:9-2. It reads as follows. Paragraph D. No damages shall be awarded against a public entity or public employee for pain and suffering resulting from any injury, provided, however, this limitation on the recovery of damages for pain and suffering shall not apply in cases of permanent loss of a bodily function. Now, that's a term of art that's used by a lawyer. What is a permanent loss of a body function? It may be a herniated disc, it might be a broken displaced bone. It's very complicated. But that's a key word in the statute. It goes on to say permanent disfigurement or dismemberment, where the medical treatment expenses are in excess of $3,600. You need medical treatment expenses in excess of $3,600. Now, it's important to note that even if you file a claim and you don't have $3,600 in medical expenses, that treatment can extend beyond your claim when you file it. So my advice to you is to file this notice of claim immediately upon the injury itself. If you have any other questions about suing a public entity, this also applies to a hospital where New Jersey Medical School may in fact have a physician on staff there. You don't really know if it's a public entity or not that's giving you the medical treatment. If you have any questions, go see a qualified personal injury attorney. If you have any other questions about personal injury, you can call my office for a copy of a book that I had authored. It's called The Consumer's Guide to New Jersey Personal Injury Claims. We'd be more than happy to send you a free copy of this at your request. Now, the advice I just gave you is a little bit different if it involves the Port Authority of New Jersey and New York, because they have a different statute of limitations. Unlike New Jersey Transit or a municipality, which has a 2-year statute of limitations, the Port Authority has a 1-year statute of limitations. That means your lawsuit must be filed within 1 year. They also are subject to notice requirements in writing. My advice to you is if you are injured because of the negligence of any municipality or its employees or the Port Authority, Don't wait. Go in and see a lawyer immediately for advice. They will tell you what to do, or they will fill out the forms and file them in your behalf. Thank you very much.